Hey guys, welcome to Joe Shark's Fish Keeping. Today we are talking about saltwater fish tanks and what it requires to not what it requires, but my experience with them. So obviously I'm an expert. I consider myself an expert in freshwater, which is why I started this YouTube channel, because I know a lot more about freshwater. I've been keeping freshwater fish for a much longer time. Unlike saltwater, where I've just started keeping it for a couple of months, and this is how it's gone. So for the first few months, I got some nitrifying bacteria water, which was already cycled. So it said it would come. It was already cycled water. Basically, came straight from the ocean. Started with that. No, I'm not sure if that's a scam, but like, I of course waited for it to cycle. Did all of the things. Waited like a week. Tested the whole usual thing. And there are certain ways to cycle it, like right off the bat, but that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about experience. So after that, I got a clownfish and a goby, and and a pistol shrimp. And so basically they've been doing kind of well. They've been working out super well. I'm enjoying, except for the goby. The goby died like a month in, and it was kind of sad. Not like a month in, a couple of days in, and I think just something I think either ammonia spike or it was just sick, which is why you always quarantine your fish. But I don't know, I got lazy that day. They were in the same tank, so I was like, if they both have diseases, it'll be fine, because they'll both have the same diseases, which is true, by the way. So I freaking got I basically started working. I waited for an RODI filter, and I managed to keep enough salt water on me for the first couple of weeks until about January 20th. I got this in mid-December. Managed to keep enough salt water on me and ration it out through water changes. Kind of thinking, playing it smart, to get it like out and ready. And so I finally got that. And so I needed an RODI filter. And I got an RODI filter, and I've been using it on all of my tanks. It's actually been quite a great help, because I don't have to use dechlorinated tap water. And around the time I actually needed to do a water change on all of my tanks, including the salt water, and this was probably the moment that was the most frustrating throughout this whole process. The water company had a pipe leakage inside the river, and we are still recovering from that. So like. And this is like almost March, so I'm still recovering. We're still recovering, and I'm still waiting for that water to become safe to use again on all of the tanks, and I think it's just become safe to use again, which was kind of sad. This was about January before I got actually on the day I got my RODI filter, it came back, and so I used that to change my tanks. Oh crap, this grass right here. Just noticed that. Anyways. My Pistogramus tank, and and this tank right here. So I've been using that to help keep it safe, and it's done a good job. It's done a fair job. So thankfully that happened, but like over that time I was worried, because I was having stuff build up and I wasn't able to replace enough water to get that to even replace anything. And although evaporation does help with water changes, it can't always rely on evaporation, right? So anyways, that's been going, and it's been going quite smoothly. I want to say for every water change I've done with this tank, it's just been really salinity is really complicated, which is why I always go by the week-by-week basis, and if something goes wrong, I always check pH and I always check ammonia on all of my tanks. So I've been doing basically weekly water changes, and it's been helping a lot. I don't have a massive bioload in there, which is why I think a weekly water change, 30%, and I always go by the 30% rule. You don't go by any other rule, although some saltwater fish tank people will go, well, 10%. Even though I have a small bioload in that tank, and in the saltwater tank, which is a clownfish and a pistol shrimp, once again, goby died, it's been a small bioload, and there hasn't been much to just massively spike it. I've been trying to get a cleanup crew. I've had a couple of algae problems, but nothing that really hasn't like destroyed the tank. It's absolutely been going great. I want to show it off, but like it's like too dark and the light already went out on it just a couple minutes ago, so I'm not gonna do that. If I do another saltwater video, I'll do that. I'll sit with the tank right behind me. Other than that, it's been going well, and I really enjoyed this tank. Like, what I would recommend if you were freshwater going into saltwater. Now, I haven't been in the saltwater hobby long. We are going to state this, and I am not an expert. This is not any care guide on how to do it. Do your research. This is my experience. This is how my journey has gone so far. If you were a freshwater person going into this, I would recommend you would get to at least intermediate freshwater before choosing to go into saltwater. Now I do consider myself an expert in freshwater, but go intermediate, and look at that stuff. Do your research and take months to do this. Take months to do your research. It took me a few months, and I wanted to keep my brain fresh, so I'd constantly rewatch the same old videos, so I recommend doing that. If you want to take notes, it's not a school class, but definitely do your research before going in to a saltwater tank. Even though they are a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed my saltwater tank, it's always been my dream to own one, and I'm so satisfied to have this dream. Do your research and just make sure you're doing it right. Doing it ethically. Test if you want to test, though. I always go by weekly water changes because gotta change these tanks, so I change that tank while I'm on it because I'm in that mindset. So definitely do your research, do your water changes, learn how to take care of freshwater before you take care of saltwater. I know that some people will say differently, but that is from my experience. Once you got the basics of fish keeping down, you won't have to learn. You'll learn to do salinity, and don't get expensive test kits. I think they're overrated because I have a nice one that's been working out for me so well. This is my last parting advice, and although I'm making a recommendation, don't get a super expensive one. There are some nice ones for like $60. Don't get the henna. It'll work just the same. Unless you're super rich, because like it's like $200 for the henna test kit. I'm just saying this just cause, like, the API one I'm using is quite nice. It's working, and my salinity checker. You don't need a massive one. You just need like a little thing. I wish I had my tools here. Next time I'll have my tools. Next month I'll post a video about how my saltwater fish have been doing. All right, sounds good. Like and subscribe. Bye bye.